Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Coming to you from the Lapeer, Michigan coach's office today. I just wanted to run by you guys a couple things. First of all, I hope you all had a blessed and just a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know we did. We actually had family in that stayed with us for a few days, and then my niece and her husband threw a big Thanksgiving Day party, which was nice. Of course, I was plopped in the corner on the couch watching the Lions play. I'm still not happy about that one, but that's another story. Anyway, it was a great holiday, and it was a great opportunity to break bread and be with family. I hope you all had the same experience. So what I want to start off with today is I want to start off with our roster, as always, to try to keep you updated as to where we're at, what our thoughts are, what we're doing, what are we forecasting, and so on and so forth. Right now, we have 20 players on our roster, official roster. We're not far off of where I like to be. I'm not a guy who brings in 40 people in the camp. I don't see the purpose in coaching people that can't make your football team. So my thought is we'll probably be adding about another 10 in the process, which is 5 under the allowable number for camp that we've set for ourselves. But I really don't see a need for much more than that. Everybody that we bring into camp, we want to give a great opportunity to make the football team. Okay, we just don't want to use them for their bodies and beating them up and that kind of thing. So we're looking right now in the college ranks, communicating quite a bit with college football players, in the sense that when you, as much as you can communicate, letting them know that we're watching them, send them a little letter and just say, hey, thanks for letting us watch you play. Know that we're interested and we'll be in touch at the end of the season, kind of thing. But yeah, we're looking, and we're always going to be looking. Hell, we'll be looking in August, in July, in April. We'll always be looking. The board never sleeps. What I mean by the board, of course, is our player personnel board. That's a living, breathing thing. It evolves every day. So to truly understand what we're about is I'm not a fan of bringing in players just to bring in players during the season. We bring in players out of necessity during the season, but I'm not a rotating door kind of guy like some of these coaches in this league that bring in new players every other day, and I'm just not going to be that way. I want my guys to get to know each other, trust each other, and be a part of the community. Okay, so there is one major update. Vaughn Taylor, we recruited as a potential defensive line specialist, a rush end. He just got signed. Even though we've signed him, we have an arrangement with the USFL, and he just got signed by the Pittsburgh Maulers. So first of all, I want you to all wish Vaughn the best of luck. Sorry to see him go, but happy to see him get an opportunity like this that he's worked very hard for. We retain his rights on the league exempt status, in the sense what that means, everybody, is if God forbid he doesn't make the team, or he just chooses to come back, he can come back directly to us. Okay, he doesn't become a free agent. His rights are owned by us. Since we talked last, I'm trying to remember if we had mentioned it. I've seen it being mentioned on a couple shows. I know Inside the Walls talked about it, but we have Nick Hague coming back, which I'm thrilled. One of the things I love about Nick is that he actually runs my defense, and when I say that is he gets it. He's a great leader, communicator. Aside from when he's not screaming and yelling, he is a good teacher as well. So he's got the experience that's going to really pay off for us again this year. I'm excited to have Nick back. Not only is he a really good football player, but he's a great guy as well. Sorry, I'm looking over here at my notes. There's a lot of topics today. Daquan Patton got mentioned. He's a smaller wide receiver DB. I'll be honest with you, Coach Ware wanted to give this young man an opportunity, see something there. He's a smaller player. Smaller players in arena football have thrived. So I'm anxious to see what he can do. He's also obviously a great story. If you followed our webpage or our Facebook social media about his dad, and unfortunately, his dad has passed away, and Daquan continues to play in memory of his father. Then we have Aaron Jenkins. Aaron Jenkins, he's one of those guys that when I saw his film, he reminded me a lot of like a Tim Tebow type quarterback. He's a big kid. He's put together like a Tim Tebow. And the funny thing about it is, the first thing when I was watching his quarterback film is I said, boy, this guy would be a really good wide receiver linebacker. So I called him up and I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I want you to obviously compete. He's a quarterback. I want you to compete, but your perfect scenario for me is having the ability to dress a backup quarterback and not have to pay a guy to sit on the bench in a jersey and never see the field, and or don't dress anybody and only have one quarterback going into games. This gives us the opportunity with Aaron to look at what his abilities are at quarterback, as well as Mr. Cruz, who we're also looking at in the backup capacity. So, and there's another quarterback that pretty famous. Yeah, we'll just say that, pretty famous. We're still in talks and very hopeful that he might want to come in and compete as well. For you guys wondering, if you see this is Tractor Supply Company, which is the equivalent of a man's Neiman Marcus, at least where I live. It's where we go to get all our farm supplies and property supplies. Anyway, okay, so that's really it right now for roster, because like I told you all earlier, patience is going to be the key this year and what we're trying to accomplish. We are going to continue to take our time, only add the right pieces at the appropriate time. We have a major staff meeting, coaches meeting on Wednesday. All the coaches have been watching film, and we'll get into that because one of the questions is, what is a typical day in the off season for me? So we'll just jump into that now, I guess. So a question, you guys had an opportunity yesterday to get some questions out. It's amazing how many of you have my phone number and personal email, because I got crushed. I got a lot of questions, but I picked a few that I think are pretty interesting and might give you a little bit more insight about the Empire, also about myself and our team. So the first question was, what's a typical day in the off season like? It depends. I mean, every day consists of player evaluation. There's a minimum of, I would say, 3 hours a day that goes into actually physically watching film. And then there's probably another 2.5 hours that goes into speaking with agents and players, coaches, things of that nature. And then also there's a period of time that goes into there where I work on defensive scripts, game planning, scouting reports, in general, trying to come up with creative, fresh ideas for next season. As you know, I'm going to be the defense coordinator again this year, and I'm going to work in conjunction with Coach Ware on the offense. But I try to stay out of his kitchen. He tries to stay out of my kitchen, and I think that's why we work so well together. Not to say we don't have input, because we sure do, but it's just a matter of trying to create something fresh every year that goes with our philosophy. Okay. So yeah, that's a typical day. if I see that there's a great hunting forecast this time of year, I'll start my day typically a bit earlier than normal and get my work done so I can go out in the afternoon or the evening, early evening before it gets dark. But yeah, work before play. That's got to be your motto if you want to be a successful football coach. And I truly believe that. Um, okay. Oh, someone asked, how's it going this year in hunting season? Well, I mean, I got a buck and I got a doe and um, swacked a turkey and um, got to see some beautiful nature out there. Saw something that I'd never seen before in my life on my property the other day while I was hunting. I saw a snow owl grab a squirrel. Uh, so he went in full flight, came down, grabbed him, and just took off. And I said, "Wow, I wish it was that easy to hunt." But yeah, it's been a great season. It always is. It gives you a chance to recharge your battery, whether you ever get anything or not. Just going out there and there's times I've gone out to the blind and just had lunch, just to get an hour in there, and I really do love it. We're so lucky to have the property we have. There was another question: Our fans, our season ticket holders, going to be invited to the open tryout that we have? We have typically once a year. I will say this with great confidence: you're all invited. I mean, it doesn't have to be a season ticket holder. If you want to come to the tryout, because we'll have a ticket booth there. We'll have merchandise there. You'll get a chance to see the coaches do their thing. It's just fun. I mean, I hate to just narrow it down to just one group. Um, there'll be special events for season ticket holders, but I don't think a tryout necessarily should be one of those. I think anybody who wants to come and maybe buy a hoodie or, you know, watch the potential new players, or they might have a favorite that's trying out, or a relative or a friend. So yeah, anybody's welcome to those. And that'll be getting posted like a lot of things. There's going to be some really good special announcements coming up in the next couple of days. Regarding like season tickets, birthday packages, single game tickets, sponsorship opportunities, everything that you can think of from a football side of things. Okay, turkey. Someone asked me today, good turkey hunt. I got turkeys in my freezer right now. I don't need any more turkeys right now. I try not to shoot what I don't need. Everybody, and I'm an archer. I use a bow and arrow. I don't use firearm for any of the species out on my property. But I don't need any more turkeys right now. If you need a turkey, call me though. I think we can help you out. Oh, this is a good question. I actually like this very much. It said, during the 3-game losing streak last season, what did you tell the team? Well, I mean, despite what you may or may not think of me, I didn't tell the team, if you don't do this, you're all going to get cut. If you don't do that, we didn't panic. And I think that goes to our veteran leadership on this team, coaches and players. We never attacked each other. We never blamed each other. We just knew that we had to get better. And I'll be honest with you, the more I watch those games, and I've watched them dozens of times by now, boy, did we get screwed on some plays. But doesn't matter. It goes both ways. And it is what it is. So we had to let the teams know. We had to let our team know. We had to let the players know, the ownership know, the front office know, the coaches know. In my opinion, was okay. And you'll hear me say this all the time. We always look for a good old-fashioned fist fight. Well, sometimes in a good old-fashioned fist fight, you get punched in the face. Okay. The key is, are you going to get up? And we didn't get punched just once in the face. We got punched 3 times in the face. And yeah, we got up. And we got up and did what we were supposed to do. And that's a greater sign of strength sometimes than just cruising through. I think it made us stronger and harder towards the end of the season to accomplish what we needed to do at that point. So yeah, keep, if you get hit, get up. Um, yeah, you'll hear me on these shows, on coaches' shows and interviews. I always say best version of yourself. The question was, does that mean? What explain best version of yourself? Okay, best version of yourself. In life, forget football for a minute. In life is trying to strive to be the absolute best version of you, not the best version of anyone else. Okay. God created you. You're unique in your way. He gave everyone great ability. Those that choose to use it and truly exploit their talents tend to get the most attention, but we all have got something. So what does that best version of you look like? And I strive to try to tell the players, they probably get sick of hearing me saying it, because it's a great part of my pregame speech every week, is and also in our team prayer, is we ask the good Lord to just let us be the best version of us. You created us, let us be the best version of what you created on the football field with our athletic ability. And then in life, we ask for that same thing. We want to be the best version of us. We want to be kind, generous, character driven, all those things. Do we make it all the time? No, we fall short. Why? We're human. But if we strive every day to be the best version, that's a great part of it. I know some of you follow me on social media and some of the forums, and there's a Navy SEAL general or admiral, sorry, that talks about making your bed. And I say that all the time. And I teased Brandon Cisse about this for, I think, good 2 years now, because he'll always say something to me and I'll say, "Did you make your bed?" And he'll say, "Yes, sir." And the philosophy behind that is that every morning when you get started, if you make your bed, if you just make your bed, you've achieved one goal already. And no matter how bad your day is, the rest of the day, it could be the worst day of your life. But you know one thing, when you come back, you have a freshly made bed to get and go to sleep in and start to refresh for the next day. So we always say making the bed is knocking down simple goals. Okay, little process that leads to becoming the best version of you, is if you can accomplish little things. Okay. What were the last 3 books you read? Well, you're going to be surprised, I guess. I typically do not read nonfiction. I love nonfiction, I typically do not read fiction. I love nonfiction. Last 3 books was the biography of Teddy Roosevelt. Really cool guy. Wish he was back here running the show. Lonesome Dove, which was a stretch for me because it's fiction, but it won the Pulitzer Prize. And if you haven't read it, wow, what a book. Make sure you have some time. It's a long one. And then I read a book the other day. I just finished it, called The Trapper's Bible. And it's about setting traps in the woods and catching animals and mountain men and how they did it and so on and so forth. Really interesting, though. So those are my last 3 books. Here's the next one. Who's the funniest guy on the football team last year? I don't know. They're not really funny around me. Um, Go figure, right? But I know I hear him laughing all the time and cutting it up. I mean, I saw Harold Love. He was pretty hilarious at times. Um, Coach Richardson was pretty funny at times. Um, I don't know. Brandon Cisse's funny at times. They all have got great personalities, man. They're so infectious that I'm sure the things that they're laughing at are probably things I wouldn't be laughing at. But that's okay. Um, what makes a good football coach? No, what makes a good coach in football? Oh, okay. Um, I don't know. I just try to keep doing what we're doing, and I know that if you work hard um, and you surround yourself with great people, and that's Coach Ware right now and Coach Custer and those guys. But like Coach Ware and I together work so well. Um, we've spent so much time together that when we're not in the same room, we still echo the same message. So I think you have to surround yourself with loyal, trustworthy people. You have to stick to your convictions, but also be smart enough to know when you're wrong and change course. I think, though, that if you, again, with players, coaches, ownership, front office, um, create a standard of performance. And for those of you that don't know, this last year in the offseason, I wrote a little manifesto of called Standard of Performance for the Albany Empire. And it applies to every single person in our football operation, from someone who sells tickets part-time for us to, um, you know, Mike Corda, the owner. What is our level and standard of performance? And we raised the bar so high that it's a work every single day to be there. And if we would have set a lower bar or lower standard, I think we would have not been as successful as we were last year. So I think you have to have a plan. I think you have to have conviction. I think you have to be smart, but I also think you got to be doggedly tenacious in your work ethic and in your drive for what you want to do. Name three things you like about the city of Albany. Boy, I could name a lot, but I think number one is the people, our fans. I really do appreciate y'all watching us and caring about us and looking after the players. And I just think you have so many options in life of what you can be doing, and to be doing it with us is just wonderful. I love that. Um, the other is I love the culture. I love the buildings. I love the museums. I love the architecture. I love the history of Albany. And it's a really cool place. Yeah, I use it as one of our recruiting tools. I tell people all the time, some people say, oh, yeah, it's warmer here. It's this here. It's that here. I always say, they don't have what we have. Um, in that respect, for sure. The other one is the different variety of landscapes. Um, I know when Susan comes up for a game, typically on the Friday before, when we get out a little earlier after walkthrough and the hay's already in the barn, you're not going to fix anything at that point. If I don't have any responsibilities or we have a day off during a bye week or something like that, Susan and I like to drive to the mountains, um, go to Lake George, look around, see the different, it's hard to believe you're by the Capitol, and then like what, 30, 40 minutes away, you're up in the hills, mountains area, and streams and lakes, and just gorgeous. So I love that, being an outdoors person. All right, we're almost there, guys. Oh, because someone says we always hear about Eli. How many grandkids do you have? I have three. So we know about Eli. Eli, I'm signing to a contract this year. No, I'm just kidding. But Eli, yeah, I see him almost every day. Um, then I have two granddaughters, Liliana and Mila, Coach Phil's daughters. And they live a little bit of ways, but I get to see them as often as I can, and I love them to death. All three are just so special to me. I hope you all get a chance to meet them this year at a game. What is the fork? Oh, wait. Favorite football quote of all time? Wow. I I have so many that I stole over the years. Uh, I think the one thing that I always like, I think it's because I was a lineman, was football's a game of inches. And I do believe that. I do believe that if you don't take a play off and you bust your ass and you do everything you're supposed to do in the first quarter, and you get that extra inch every play or every other play, or you capture more ground than they do as being an offensive lineman, or if you're playing defense at that time, if you're taking away inches, by the end of the game, those inches equal a football field. And you could be personally responsible for, in our game, a 50-yard touchdown just by the inches you capture over the course of 4 quarters. And I truly believe that. There's no inch not worth fighting for in a football game. Uh, we'll leave you with this one, last one. Forecast for 2023. I mean, you really got to ask. We're going to win it all. Okay. And if we don't, I'm sure the heck going to die trying. But, they said something on Inside the Walls podcast. Last one, they were talking about free agency, and they just said, Albany's created a culture of winning. They're never out of a game. They're never worried about a game. They're never, I won't go as far as say we're never worried about a game, in the sense of when things aren't going right during the game. I get a little nervous sometimes, but not to the point where I panic, because I always think we're going to win. Well, the same thing's true for this year, 2023. I'm hearing a lot of talk by players, by teams, by coaches, by owners. And, I don't know if they're trying to get our bravado or what, but everybody ready to get their ass kicked. You can't do that. You can't say you're better this year when you didn't change your roster. You can't say you're better this year because of this coach. You same coach didn't win it last year. You can't say those things. Use fact, not opinion. Right? When I talk about us, the core of our team from last year is back. The staff's back. The owner's back. Front office is back. Everything we do. Now, if someone wants to say, oh, they're going to be pretty good in 2023, yeah, I'll buy that, because we were pretty good in 2022. But don't go out there and make forecasts and say, oh, well, they're a better team. Zach from Inside the Walls said, oh, yeah, we're 1A and San Antonio's 1B. And Zach, when are you going to learn? There is no 1A and 1B. We're one until someone takes it away from us. Period. So that's not anything against any other team in the league. I know you all feel the same way, and I want you to, and God bless you. But until you do it, you can't talk about it. Until you do it, you can't talk about it. Okay. Yeah, let's get in some good old-fashioned fist fights. You know me. I love the thought of that, and in the grammar of football terminology. But yeah, there is no 1A and 1B. We're one, period, until someone beats us. So, and we don't plan on going anywhere. So, to all of you who wrote the questions, and to the people that take time out of their day to watch this old football coach tell you some stuff, sure do appreciate you. Like I said, do me a favor, please. Buy your tickets, buy them early, quit playing around. I know the single game tickets are coming up, but you know what? You want to be there for this one. This is history. This is historic, what we're about ready to do. Be there for it. And lastly, like I said, we're hoping the show's going to go live here soon, and we'll get a co-host setup going and doing some things so you guys can interact with us while we're on. But in the meantime, I'll try to keep you posted the best I can. Buy your tickets, get a sponsorship package. If you're a corporation in the area or a business in the area, we could sure use you and would love to have you as a partner. Get on the store, buy yourself some stuff for Christmas, do all those things. And most importantly, keep supporting what we're trying to do from our football operation standpoint. So everybody, till we talk again next week, thanks for everything. God bless and go Empire.